Welcome to Real Kiwi Fishing. This week, Pea and I back out on the Gulf in the Osprey today. And what we're going to be doing is we're heading out to one of the islands and we're going to do some shallow water fishing in close to one of the islands out here. So I'm just sorting out the burley. Just grabbed a little burley from the gassy, chucking it in the bag. And what I've done is I've grabbed some more of that salmon burley, keep on the boat in a little tin. It's pretty much perfect to just leave on your boat and just use whenever you need to. And we're just sitting in about 9 to 10 meters of water. We'll get this burley going. We've got a set of rocks in behind us, probably about 50 meters. A nice little reef just comes in and gradually goes up, falls off the back and then over to the rocks there. So I thought we'll come and give that a bash this morning. Actually got fogged in. Also got some of these fish bites, burley bites. They're pretty cool to just chuck into the burley, and you can also chuck them out. Just chuck a few around where you're fishing. And then just a couple of handfuls in this burley bag. And the great thing is once the fish turn up, you can just keep feeding these little pellets down the burley trail as well. I've got a nice swell rolling in these rocks here as well, which is stirring everything up, which is good for us. We've got that burley in there. And also what I got is a heavy duty burley bag that I chuck everything in. It's just so it doesn't break off when you're pumping it. And I just chuck it on my already pre-rigged burley rope. Just clips on, chuck it over the side, bit of weight so you can adjust it how deep you want it. So if you're in the shallow patch, shallow area, maybe 2 to 3 meters, don't have it too deep. That's pretty much it. Burley set, and we're just going to drift some baits back into that bit of foul rock area, and hopefully some big snappers sort of turn up in that burley trail. Is hooked up. First fish of the morning. Just a little fella, but that's how it starts.
Swallow, jeez. Swallow the hook.
And as I was saying, there's the rocks out the back of us, not too far away. We got that burley just flowing down in towards those rocks there. We're just lobbing our baits back. You can see that bit of bait there showing you the current, the way the current's going. This is perfect. It's just going to mill down through that area. got a nice reef that rises up here. There's a heap of fish turning up now. That burley's bringing them in. I just got dealt to on a nice fish, real nice fish. Busted me off, just bit straight through the trace. But there's a lot of fish sort of around that 35-40 centimeters, and then you all of a sudden you just get that big grab real quick. Yeah, it was a nice fish, just came through, grabbed it, struck, bang, gone, bit straight through the trace. Running about 25-pound trace. I might go up if I get a few more bust offs, but I don't like fishing too heavy in the shallow.
Oh shit!
Fog's come in again. Wind's picked up a little bit and it's pushed us around. We like fishing more down the side of these rocks, but we'll just see what happens. Soaked up to a little fella. There's a lot of fish down here, but as usual, there's a lot of little stuff in amongst the berley. It's not a tiny fish, but not that big. But at least we're not catching those little 15-20 centimeter things, which gets quite annoying sometimes. So Pea's caught a couple of yellowtail hanging around the berley. What I'm going to try, this is one of my favourite baits for big snapper, is yellowtail head just split down the middle. So all I do is go through the eye, right through, and then in the guts, halfway in and back out. And that just says big snapper to me. Now normally those bigger fish sort of sit back in the back of that berley trail. Get a lot of those smaller fish in the berley trail. So it always pays to sort of lob it out a little bit further. That's where those big mooches hang around. Pick up the scraps. You're livey, give me your rod. Pea's got a livey down, and look what took it, KIWI. So you get heaps of KIWI, obviously in the berley trail as well. Hooked up again, another little fish. There's a heap of them here. Berley's definitely worked. There's a lot of KIWI as well. Hooked up to a better snapper this time. It's taken a while, but we got one at last.
Oh, good. They're hanging around there.
There you go. It's not a bad snapper. It's not big, but definitely takeable. Around that 45 centimeters. Just got him on a chunk of KIWI. Got a lot of small fish hanging around at the moment, around that berley. So the bigger baits, hard baits, the way to go. Keep some bait on your hook, let the little ones just chew on it, and then the big ones should come through like this fella here and bash them out the way and hook into them. Beer's hooked up. Other little fish, a lot of little stuff here now. We've actually missed the tide, got here a bit late, but what we'll probably do is move out into the sand somewhere, maybe fish around that 15-20 metre mark somewhere. So we've done a bit of a shift. Got pretty quiet in at our spot, but we normally only fish it on that incoming. Tide's going out now, went pretty dead, so what we've done, we've just moved out, still sitting on around that sort of 12-13 metre mark. So we're only sort of 100 metres from where we were, but that's what I keep saying, that's all it takes sometimes, is just do that little shift and it can be all on. You don't have to, you know, a lot of people think, oh, there's nothing where we were, and then they just head for the horizon because there's no fish around here. But that's not the case all the time. Sometimes all you got to do is even shift 20 metres, 30 metres, like along the bays where we fish. We do a lot of that. When we're not getting fish around the bays, we just shift even as much as 10 metres and we're onto the fish. But there's a lot more current out here, so when we fish on in there, there's a lot of current coming along that coastline, and that incoming comes around the corner and then it sort of goes dead on that outgoing because it just comes past the corner there and goes past the bay. So we've moved out into that lot more current area, and hopefully we'll get onto some fish. Just chucked another salmon berley in the berley pot there and a few more fish bites, so get that pumping again. Now because there's a lot more current too, I'm going to have to go up on my size of sinker, so I'll probably move up to about a 1 ounce. Hopefully that'll work.
3 times.
It's hooked up. There's a lot of fish around here, about sort of that 35-40 centimetres. The odd one, better one coming through. So although they're not big fish, they're just nice eaters. Now because there's a lot of small fish around, I've gone to some bigger bait, to those harder baits, yellowtail, KIWI. And those baits will stay on there longer. Let the little ones just nibble at it, and that'll get the big ones all excited, and they'll come over and at least there's some bait left for them to have a go at. So you can start with your pulleys and stuff like that, and obviously we'll bring your fish around. But if you're losing your pulleys really quickly, you want to try for some of those harder baits, those KIWI, those bits of yellowtail. Something that'll hold a bit longer for you. Now what I'm doing while the fish have turned up, keeping these fish bites, berleys going as well. They seem to be doing the trick. Just dropping it down. I've also got the other berley going. That's what you want to do once the fish turn up. You want to keep them here. Keep that berley going, keep them interested. Every now and then we'll drop back to the pilchard baits, bring them back around, get that smell going. So I've got half a yellowtail on here. So like I was saying, I've been having bites for about 3 or 4 minutes through that whole time, and I know my yellowtail's still sitting there, even if it's just the dreads of it left. The big one will still come along and have a go at it. Whereas if I was using pilchard, bait would have been longer, and I would have used about 10 pieces by now. Oh, hooked up brother. A lot nicer fish than this one. We've moved out into that current, only 100 meters from where we were, and they're just starting to come on the bite now. Took about 10 minutes for the first bites. Caught a few little ones around that 30 centimeters, which we threw back. Still not a big fish, but he's a nice takeable, and he's all lit up.
Good boy.
It's all nice, and it's got his red on and spawning colours, I'd say.
Oh, geez, a redneck, eh?
It's a nice looking fish, beautiful fish. So yeah, what we've done is we've only moved about 100 meters, and like I was saying, a lot of people will just go, oh, there's no fish around here, and they'll head for the horizon. But sometimes just that move out onto a bit of mud or stronger current and you're onto them. Another pan.
Yeah, they're all penny.
Well, that's pretty much it from us. Had a pretty cool day. Had a couple of hours. We had about an hour at our spot, and then we moved out. Got a couple of hours fishing that outgoing. Got onto a few fish, so got a few KIWI and snapper in the bin, and that's all we need. So yeah, we're going to head off home, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Till next time, tight lines. Thanks for watching another great day out fishing with Real Kiwi Fishing. And you can also find more of my movies on my YouTube channel, Real Kiwi Fishing.